Have you ever felt so broken that you thought life was over, only to realize one whisper, one promise, could change everything? Stay with me until the end, because this story of love, pain, and hope might just shift something inside you. Sophia was the daughter of one of the most powerful CEOs in the city. People thought she lived a perfect life, luxury cars, a mansion, the finest schools. But behind closed doors, her world had shattered. At only 21, she had been in a terrible car accident. The doctor's words still echoed in her mind, "Your daughter may never walk again." Overnight, Sophia went from being a bright, cheerful young woman who loved dancing, hiking, and exploring, to a paralyzed shell of herself. Months of hospital rooms, physical therapy, and endless tears stripped her of hope. She pushed everyone away, even her father, who buried himself in work because he didn't know how to comfort her. Her once vibrant room was now dim, curtains always drawn. She stopped smiling. She stopped dreaming. She stopped believing. Depression crept in like a shadow, whispering cruel lies that she was worthless, that her life was already over. Her father, despite all his money and power, couldn't buy her happiness. He hired the best doctors, therapists, even motivational speakers, but nothing reached her heart. Sophia simply didn't want to be here anymore, and then fate intervened in the most unexpected way. Across town lived Daniel, a single father working 2 jobs to raise his little daughter, Lily. His life wasn't easy. Bills piled up, late rent notices stacked on the table, and his body carried exhaustion from endless shifts. But despite all that, Daniel had something priceless, an unshakable belief in love and resilience. He had lost his wife years ago, leaving him to raise Lily alone. And in the face of every hardship, Daniel never let despair take over. He taught Lily to smile through struggles, to see light even in darkness. One day, Daniel was hired by Sophia's father's company as a driver temporarily. That's when he first saw Sophia being wheeled through the lobby by a nurse. Her eyes were downcast, her face pale, and her presence heavy with silent pain. She looked untouchable, like someone who had built walls so high no one could ever climb them. But Daniel noticed something else, a flicker, deep in her eyes, like a spark hidden under ashes. For weeks, Daniel quietly observed as he waited in the lobby during shifts. Unlike others who treated her with pity or fear, he saw her as a person, not a diagnosis. One evening, as he held Lily's hand and waited, little Lily ran up to Sophia without hesitation. "Hi. I like your bracelet," she chirped, pointing to the silver charm Sophia wore. For the first time in months, Sophia lifted her eyes. She forced a small smile. That single moment, a child's innocent kindness, cracked the wall around her heart. Daniel, embarrassed, rushed to pull Lily back. But before he could, Sophia whispered something he never expected, "She's beautiful." That night, Daniel couldn't stop thinking about the sadness in her voice, how it carried both longing and loneliness. The next day, when he saw Sophia again, he did something bold. He leaned down gently beside her wheelchair and whispered, "I'll help." Sophia frowned. "Help? You don't even know me." Daniel met her gaze steadily. "I don't need to know your past to believe in your future. I'll help you see it again." Those words pierced straight into her heart. Nobody had spoken to her like that, not her father, not the doctors, not anyone. They all treated her like she was broken glass. But Daniel spoke as if she still had strength inside her. At first, Sophia resisted. She told him to stop trying, to leave her alone. But Daniel never pushed, he simply showed up, day after day, sometimes with Lily, sometimes with small acts of kindness. He'd bring her a book, tell her stories of his late wife, or share silly things Lily said. Slowly, laughter returned to Sophia's lips, then came the hardest part, therapy. Sophia had given up trying, convinced she would never improve. But Daniel sat beside her during sessions, whispering, "One more try. Just one more." He celebrated every tiny victory, a slight movement of her toes, a shift in her posture, as if she had won a gold medal. His faith in her grew stronger than her doubts. Meanwhile, her father, the CEO, struggled to accept Daniel's influence. He didn't trust this ordinary man to guide his daughter. But when he saw Sophia's face light up again, saw her fighting to live, he realized money hadn't given her that Daniel had. For the first time in years, the powerful man broke down in gratitude. Months passed. Sophia wasn't fully healed, the road was still long. But she was no longer hopeless. She began painting again, reading again, laughing with Lily, and even daring to dream about her future. She wasn't defined by her wheelchair anymore. She was defined by her courage. The story didn't end in a miracle where she suddenly walked again. No, the miracle was deeper. Sophia discovered that life is still worth living, even in brokenness. Daniel didn't save her by fixing her body. He saved her by reminding her she still mattered, still had purpose, still had love to give and receive, and one evening, sitting outside beneath a sky painted with stars, Sophia whispered, "Thank you for believing when I didn't." Daniel smiled softly, holding Lily's hand. That's what families do. We carry each other when one can't walk. By the end, the CEO, the daughter, the single dad, and his little girl became something unexpected, a family stitched together by pain, love, and hope. So if you take one thing from this story, let it be this: even when you feel paralyzed by life, whether in body, heart, or spirit, hope can return. Sometimes, all it takes is one person who refuses to give up on you.